guys, my name is Ivy Jones and I am the Sunday school teacher for ages 2 through 5 at Old Path Holiness Church in Danville, Kentucky. And I am back again this week for this week's Sunday school lesson. And I'm just going to get started. And here is our memory verse again for this week. You all should be able to know this by now. So it is John chapter 10, verse 11. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. John chapter 10, verse 11. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. And just like Jesus is our good shepherd, just like this good shepherd is taking care of these sheep, Jesus will take care of us if we just put our faith and our trust in him. And we'll get right into the story. So if you remember last week's lesson, it was about Jesus's resurrection. And the story doesn't end there. Jesus rose from the dead, and he stayed with his disciples for a little while after he rose from the dead. And we're going to learn about that today. So the title of this lesson is Jesus Will Come Again. So Jesus had risen from the dead. Mary had seen him and talked to him. The disciples had seen him too. Other people had talked to him. Many people knew that he was alive again, just as he promised. His promises came true. One morning, after some of the disciples had fished all night without catching any fish, they saw Jesus on the beach. And he said, "Throw your net on the other side of the boat." When the disciples obeyed Jesus, they caught so many fish that their net broke. Then Jesus took some of those fish and cooked them for breakfast for his hungry disciples. They were so happy to have Jesus with them again. One day, Jesus took the disciples to the top of a mountain. "It's time for me to go away," he said. "I'm going to go back to my Father in heaven." Jesus had finished his work that he came to earth to do. The disciples were very sad. "Don't be unhappy," Jesus said. "I will come again. But while I am gone, I have an important job for you to do." "What is it, Lord?" wondered the disciples. "What do you want us to do?" Jesus said, "You know that I died and rose again so you can go to heaven someday. But there are millions of people who have never heard this wonderful news. I want you to teach the whole world the good news about me." Jesus wanted everyone, the red people, brown people, yellow, black, and white people, to know that he died and rose again to take the punishment for the bad things we do. Jesus told his disciples that he would always be with them, and he will always be with us too. And just like he told the disciples to go into the world and preach the gospel to everyone, Jesus still wants us to do that today, because there's still millions and millions of people who have never heard of Jesus. So we still need to be doing that today. And as soon as Jesus had finished talking, his body began to rise up into the sky. Up, up, up it went, into a big cloud covered him. Jesus was gone. He had returned to heaven. As the disciples stood there quietly, still looking up to see where Jesus had went, they noticed two strangers in shining white robes standing by them. They were angels that God had sent to talk to the disciples. "You men of Galilee," said the angels, "why are you standing here looking up into heaven? Jesus will come back again one day, just as you have seen him go." Then the disciples remembered what Jesus had said. He told them that he was going to heaven to get a new home ready for them and for all people who would believe in him. Then he would come again. We do not know when Jesus will come again, but we believe that he will because he promised us. And that is what we are looking for today, is Jesus to come and get us. It could be right now. It could be tomorrow. It could be next year. We don't know, but we are so excited because Jesus is going to take all those who believe in him to heaven with him. So now we're going to ask questions about today's story to see how well you listened. What job did Jesus give to the disciples and to us? to tell everyone about Jesus. How did Jesus get back to heaven? His body went up into the clouds. Will Jesus come again someday? Yes, he will. And we are so excited about that. Okay. Excuse me. Every week we have a little character story. And so this week we are learning about Daddy coming home. This is Mother, and this is Kitten. This is Mitten and Boots. Daddy had to go away on a trip for a few days. Mitten and Boots were sad. Come here, you two little kittens, Daddy said as he held his arms open wide. The children ran to Daddy and he gave them a big hug. I will be gone for only 6 days. We better hurry now or I will be late. When they got to the airport, everyone helped Daddy get his things inside. The children watched as Daddy put his suitcases on the big belt that took them to the plane. Then Daddy gave them all a hug and a kiss. Mother and the children walked over to the big window. See the big window? Where they could see Daddy's plane. They watched as it moved down the runway and climbed into the sky. On the way back home, Mother asked, "Well, children, what will we do while Daddy is away on his trip?" "It will make the time go by fast if we stay busy," said Boots. And when they got home, he picked up his toys and helped Mitten clean her room. Soon it was time for bed. Mother read them a story and Mitten prayed, "Dear God, please take care of Daddy. Help him to do his work well and bring him back safe real soon. Amen." The next few days, Mother gave Mitten and Boots jobs around the house. Boots swept the porch and the sidewalk, and Mitten folded the washcloths and the dish towels. They played with Kitty while Mother cooked supper. Day 1, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, and still Daddy did not come home. "Mother, when will Daddy be here?" "Tomorrow," said Mother. The next day they went to the airport to wait for Daddy's plane to land. "There he is," yelled Mitten. "I see him too," said Boots. "Daddy!" they yelled as they ran to greet him. "You came back. You came back." "Yes," said Daddy, "I am back, and it is so good to see you." The family was back together. Mitten and Boots walked beside Daddy, and they went to the van. How happy they were to see him again, and how happy we are going to be to see Jesus again. Can you imagine what a day that will be? So that is our stories for today, and I hope you all enjoyed them. I'll see you all next week.